So just over 2 years ago now, I decided to start working on the weekends at a nursing home, partly for some extra cash and partly for some good stories. And on my first day, my very first day, I got exactly what I asked for. So I walked into work and I was pretty nervous. I hadn't worked in a nursing home since I was doing clinical rotations in school like 2 or 3 years ago now, so I was a little anxious. I walked into the therapy room, printed out my schedule, got my list of patients. All right, see my first patient. My first patient is this woman named, we'll call her Susie, I don't remember what her name is. She's on the 5th floor and she had fallen and broken her leg not long ago, and she was back from the hospital, back in the care of the nursing home. So I put my list away and headed to the 5th floor. I got in the elevator, called the elevator up, and there's a Hispanic man in there that I've come to know since I was working there, very nice man. And he said, "Que piso?" What floor? And I said, "Cinco." And he hits the button for me and he goes, "Están locos on piso cinco." Now what I didn't tell you about piso cinco is that's the memory floor for dementia and Alzheimer's patients. And I myself has had a great aunt that had suffered from dementia for the better part of a decade and was in a memory floor unit. So I know how sad it is, and I'm very empathetic for this. So I don't want to feel like I'm poking fun at anyone here, but like my grandmother said, her sister, if you're not laughing, you're crying. So till they come up with a cure, let's have some laughs. So it takes me up to the 5th floor and I walk in, and there's people just kind of wandering around everywhere. And I find my patient's floor, and she's laying in bed peacefully with her leg propped up, as it should be, and she's sleeping. And I walk over to her bedside and real carefully, real gently, I said, "Hey, Susie, hi." And she wakes up, hi, I'm Tyler, I'm from physical therapy. "Oh, okay. I'm going to look at your leg." She's like, "No!" She starts screaming, "No, don't touch my leg!" Starts freaking out. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, no, it's okay. She's screaming the whole time. Now, I wasn't going to do anything dramatic. I just wanted to look at it, make sure there was no signs of infection or anything weird going on, see if she could wiggle her toes maybe. So she's screaming the whole time. I pull the covers up, take a look at the leg. Looks fine, doesn't look too red or anything weird. See if hey, can you wiggle your toes? She's not listening to me at all. Next thing you know, some lady comes waddling over with adult briefs just above her knees, and she waddles over to us, and she goes, "Can I lay in this bed?" The bed next to her, and I said, "I don't know, is that your bed?" She said, "No, can I lay in this bed?" I'm like, "No, don't lay in the bed." Next thing you know, now, my mother is a horrible exaggerator. I've always hated this my whole life. She tells stories, I'm there, I know she's exaggerating. So I am not exaggerating. When the next thing that happens is a football-sized bowel movement falls out of her, hits her adult brief, lands on the ground, and wraps up perfectly. Kind of like I pictured when like a stork would drop off a baby and it would come down in the chute and just kind of swaddle it. I swear to you that's what happened. And it folded shut perfectly, and she pulled up her pants and slid into bed. And I was like, okay. So I figured that was enough therapy for there. And I walked out. Now in the nursing home, a bowel movement is something you need to report to the nursing staff. It's something they keep track of. So I went and found the nurse, and I said, "Hey, the lady, short hair, brown, just had, a bowel movement in the room, and she laid in the bed. I don't know if it's her." She's like, "Oh, Judy, oh, thank goodness. She's been backed up for weeks. Her back is going to feel so much better." Yes, I bet it is. I'm sure it is. So I go back to the elevator, and I hit the button. It's a special elevator because, you have to swipe your badge to get it. So I hit the elevator, swipe my badge, and it's taking forever. And I'm just standing there, and people are wandering around, and this one guy is just kind of looking at me, funny. I can see him looking at me. I'm trying not to notice, but this elevator is just taking forever and ever. And he's got like his polo shirt on, and there's some food, maybe throw up on him. And he finally gains the courage, and he starts like coming up to me, and he comes up to me, and he's like, "Hey." I'm like, "Hey." He's like, tell them that Tony's up here. They're looking for me." I said, okay, Will, yeah. Tell them that they're going to be looking for me. Tell them Tony's up here. Okay, Will. Thank God the elevator opened. All right, Tony, I'll tell him. And I get into the elevator and I hit the close button. And I pull out my list and who the fuck do I got to see next? Thank you.